Hello, Paul, Bhargav, and Raga. I just wanted to get your insights on a topic our analytical team has been assessing, which is the supposed crisis in China's property market. Bhargav, would you like to give an overview about this property crisis?
Thank you, Bassel. Yes, China's property crisis has worsened in recent years. More than 50 Chinese developers have defaulted or failed to make debt payments in the last 3 years. And that seems to be a major concern for China's economy as well. Property developers have accumulated substantial debt through aggressive expansion and land acquisitions. They borrowed heavily from banks and issued bonds to fund their projects. Paul, I would like to hear a little more of this from you and Raga, if I may.
Yeah, sure. Look, I mean, in response to the concerns about rising property prices and also various financial risks, the Chinese government introduced regulations to curb excessive borrowing by property developers, and the combination of high debt levels and, of course, these stricter regulations created a liquidity crunch, ironically, for the property developers. That led to concerns about potential defaults. Evergrande Group, for example, is a property developer. We've all heard about what's happened to them. They underwent a severe financial crisis. This triggered the property sector crisis. In July 2023, the company reported that it incurred a net loss of about $66.3 billion for 2021 and an additional loss of about $14 billion, I think, for 2022. And I think Evergrande actually looked to file bankruptcy protection under Chapter 15. Raga, you probably know more about that tonight.
Yes, Paul. So Chapter 15 of the US Bankruptcy Code was filed by Evergrande, and it basically protects non-US companies from creditors in the US looking to sue these companies.
Okay, that's interesting. Country Garden Holdings encountered a significant financial challenge in the backdrop of the broader property market downturn and increased scrutiny from Chinese authorities. But Country Garden has anticipated a substantial net loss this year. It's estimated to be in the range of $6 or $7 billion US dollars. They also issued a warning to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange that they were on the brink of default. Can you recall the Zhongzi Enterprise Group situation?
As with Zhongzi, Paul, it's a trust, and it's currently grappling with a liquidity crisis as its subsidiary Zongrong International Trust has missed payments on investment products. Now, this reflects the broader challenges faced by Chinese firms, particularly those entrenched in the real estate sector, amidst an overall downturn and tighter government regulations.
Okay, so trust companies in China also sell investment products to qualified investors and use those funds to invest in a wide range of financial assets, or also to lend to property developers and their project companies, and also local government financing vehicles. Zhongzi's among the biggest players in the country, a $2.9 trillion trust industry. Many trust products are backed by real estate projects run by travel developers such as China's Evergrande Group. The massive scale of the issues in the shadow banking sector, like that, and the trust companies, it's raised concerns about contagion. If this isn't handled well by China authorities and government, those regulating that sector, it could potentially lead to a broader financial crisis, not dissimilar to the global financial crisis in 2007, 2008. The old saying, where the American economy will go shows the world, but I think we can put China in the mix there. Bhargav, how do you think this could influence the GDP in China, and how is their GDP tracking?
Okay, Paul, the GDP growth rates are not very encouraging. In fact, it's been underwhelming, especially for 2024. The projection is about 4.5%, while China was one of those tigers which was always in excess of 7 to 8%. And the current crisis is also a concern given that the infrastructure sector and the manufacturing both are major components within the economy, accounting for up to 50 to 60% of the overall GDP. So we'll have to see how this evolves. Unlike the West, the Chinese government are a lot more proactive in controlling their own economy. Hopefully, this will be very much stifled before it becomes a major contagion affecting not only China, but also other countries closely tied to their economy.
Okay, great. Well, look, I think the takeaway, Bassel, is for you to discuss with the analysts. We really need to get a good feel for how much of the GDP decrease. I mean, a lot of countries, Bhargav, would kill for an increase of GDP at 4%. We do know, however, that China needs to increase at a greater rate than that to maintain the status quo and to ensure political stability, native social stability. So that's what we really need the analysts to dig deeper into, how influential is the pure property and shadow banking sector related to the property and the property trust market. Okay, Bassel?
That's well noted, Paul.
Okay, thanks. Anything else, Bassel?
Nothing from my end.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Cheers.